Right, hello, guys. Yeah, we're there. Anyway, how this goes, guys, is no one's business. I've had someone trying to send Stu emails, but the wife's just brought in a cup of tea. Paul's wife's here yabbering, and we are without our leader today. We don't know where our leader is, but we heard he's locked in a room. He's locked in a room in Amsterdam. He went in a door and never come out again. Anyway, guys, big surprise today. Of course, we've got our resident cowboy, Stu. How are you, sir?
I'm all right, mate. Now we finally got the link sorted out.
Yeah. Did you have to say that? I'm really good at all this techno stuff, guys. I've got to say. Anyway, guys, got a special guest here for you today. Been trying to get him for the last 2 months. And finally, me and Stu went round this morning. We tied him up, handcuffed him, put something over his head, brought him back around here in a white van, and here he is. Hello, Paul.
Hello, my name's Paul.
Now, guys, Paul is like a walking encyclopedia. He's unbelievable.
The trouble is, every time I hear the name Paul, I just want to fire a shotgun.
Yeah, listen, guys, it's very special for us here to have Paul here today because Leeds was really part of my childhood, as was it with Stu's. Growing up, literally Leeds were the team of the 70s, which was really from about 8 years onwards, watching the 1970 Cup final. Leeds, Chelsea, which was reputedly supposed to be the dirtiest cup final ever, wasn't it?
Well, it was, wasn't it? Kicking lumps out one another, weren't they?
And the even funniest part of this is our Leeds fan here at that 1970 Cup final. Who did you support?
Chelsea.
Why did you support Chelsea at the 70 Cup final?
Because before the age of 10, I supported every cup final winner.
Yeah. Do you know what I did with the cup final? I don't know if anyone remembers it, but like it was a massive, weren't it? The FA Cup years ago. And yeah, you're right. I always used to pick a team in the cup final. Right then, Paul.
Yeah.
Why Leeds?
Well, as I say, I started watching football in 1969. Started to support winners of the FA Cup. But when it got to 1972 FA Cup final, I don't know why not in 70, probably because I lost. But in 72, I just started supporting Leeds and it's been with me ever since.
Who did they play in 72?
Arsenal.
Oh, they played Alan Clark header. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So if you'd waited till 75, you could have supported a proper team.
Yeah, that was West Ham in 75. Now, is that the final where Mick Jones got pushed onto the post and broke his shoulder, I think? Broke his arm, didn't he?
Advertising cup.
Yeah, we won't be showing that again. Now, at that point, Leeds, didn't they lose it a couple of years afterwards to...
a year after, to Sunderland.
Sunderland. Yeah, they lost to Sunderland, didn't they? Now, that, I think, was probably the best display a goalkeeper's ever put in a cup final, weren't it?
Oh, it is, yeah.
Jim Montgomery.
Yeah.
And the winner was scored by Ian Porterfield, but literally Leeds for everything at them, didn't they?
Definitely. Kitchen sink and everything, but another one days, he just did not go in, did he? Hit the bar post, everything.
Yeah, I agree, actually. Did you have a favourite player of that period?
Ooh, 73. Probably Peter Lorimer. Then
he had the hardest shot in football, didn't he?
Yeah.
Peter Lorimer, yeah.
What was your memories of that team, Stu?
My old man hated Peter Lorimer. When he got picked to play for England, my old man went potty because he hated him. He absolutely detested him. He thought he was rubbish. Thought the only thing about him was he could take a penalty.
He had a great thought. He had a great, really hard shot, didn't he? My memories of that team was like, I had a best mate at school called Mark Bloomberg, and he was a Leeds fan. So, like, whenever we could watch, we watched. And I went with a guy over Tottenham to see Leeds in their A-Day. And they really was like a pucker team, really around that period, the 70s. It was with Arsenal and Liverpool, weren't it? It was with Arsenal and Liverpool, weren't it? Yeah? Their biggest rival.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Now, why is your rivalry? I mean, my wife is a Leeds fan, and she says that because she's a Leeds fan, she hates Man United. So why is your rivals Man United when you've not really had a time when you've both been really the best two teams in the leagues at the same time?
It's War of the Roses, isn't it, really? I believe so.
Yeah.
I think back there, War of the Roses, isn't it?
Yeah, but I've been up to your village, and there's quite a lot of people where you live support Man United.
Yeah, Liverpool, Man United, Leeds, Hull City as well around there. Lots of Hull City.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do, going off football, I do T20 cricket. We go to Elland to watch Yorkshire. All's 19, 20,000. Every game, 3, maybe 4,000 until they play Lancashire. And it's packed, it's rammed. It's like a football match.
Could be.
It's,
So what was your first game?
my first actual game was probably late 69. It was Arsenal versus Sheffield United. As I told you, when my dad was a lorry driver and he was an Arsenal fan, they took me down to Highbury. Well, my first official Leeds game was probably 1974-75 when they played Man City at home. They beat them 3-1.
What kit did Man City have on? I loved their away kit when I was a kid.
That far back.
Was it the red with the black stripes? A bit like the
black and red stripes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Black and red
They had a
stripes.
great
Yeah, probably, yes.
Joe Corrigan in
Similar what
goal.
Paul
didn't they?
was.
Yeah, Tony Book was their captain at the time, I think. They had Dennis Chewart on one wing and Mike Sunby on the other wing. Franny Lee up front with Joe Royal, I think it was. But yeah, great team. Colin Bell, I think, was one of the finest players ever to play the game of football. I think he would walk into any team now as a central midfielder, sweeper, playmaker. He was a great player. So when was your first Leeds game? Who watched you?
We could do with someone like him there in the middle of the park for us.
I agree. Yeah, I do. Your first Leeds game?
Was the Man City, Leeds Man City.
Oh, Leeds Man City.
Yeah.
So did you start going a lot after that?
Yes. Yeah, so what? 77, 78 started going to fair few games. Then 80s until I got married, then stopped.
Yeah, money goes out the window.
Yeah.
You've got to pay for the
just,
kids' nappies and everything.
I
Don't
had to
it?
sell a car to buy a pram.
Yeah, I used to run around all the Asian wholesalers because I don't know if anyone remembers. I'm a bit older than you, but at that time, I remember my nan buying me a load of Terry's nappies. And for those of you that are too young, it was like you had to wash them, didn't you? Boil them up. It was like a towel. And Pampers come out just before my eldest daughter was born, jumping up in the air that there was disposable nappies. And I used to run around the supermarkets to try and get a pound cheaper. Now, I love Leeds ground because Leeds ground reminds me a lot of the Everton grounds, the Leicester's grounds, the Ipswich ground. It's very close, isn't it? And really noisy.
Yes, it is, yeah. The atmosphere is good in there, yeah.
It's a football ground, isn't it? That's why.
Yeah. Now, do you think they will extend it, or do you think they'll? Hopefully, you don't move. I hope you don't move from Elland Road.
Well, the rumours are they're not going to move, but they are going to. They've got the east stand, which has already been extended. The oldest stand is the west stand, which they're going to raise up and then bring it around the Cop, then in line with the east stand, and make it so they say 53,000 capacity.
What's the capacity at the moment?
36 and a bit.
Yeah, do you know what the average price of the tickets are?
About 43 quid.
It's not bad, 43 quid.
It's Championship, doesn't it?
Yeah, but that's still a good price. I mean, you went down to what I always call it the third division. I don't call the Championship, I always say it's the first division.
Second division,
but you went down, didn't you, to that a few years ago.
League One, yeah.
After the Ridsdale fiasco, didn't you? Where David O'Leary and Ridsdale almost bankrupt the club, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Ridsdale more than O'Leary wanted it.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have let O'Leary play it. I've always had a soft spot for these, and I think they're a real hard team, but fair team, and always, put a lot of passion into their team.
One of the first teams that started wearing them things on their socks, like that scouts used to wear.
Oh, yeah, they
numbers on, didn't they?
Just give them away at the end, didn't they?
Yeah.
I remember seeing Gordon McQueen in a game there, and I'm sure he chinned David Harvey because he was your Leeds goalkeeper at the time. In one of the games, McQueen was the goalkeeper, and he actually put a right hander on David Harvey because he had a go. But you had Big Joe Jordan up the front, didn't you?
I've seen him and Joe Corrigan a few push-ups.
I've got more teeth than what he had.
I think Joe Jordan, when he went abroad, I can't remember who he went with a few years back when he was with, I think it might have been when it was with Redknapp, Pompey, and he had a tear up with that Gattuso from AC Milan on the sidelines. You remember Joe Golden and Gattuso, reputed to be one of the hardest men in there. But you've always had a good side, and I say you've always had good fans. But I've got to say, when you had Bielsa, I thought you played some fabulous stuff. I always pick a team out, throughout the season, and Stu's going to rate me for saying this, but I sort of liked last season the way Spurs played football. I liked the gung-ho attitude with Postecoglou, and he played the eye line. It's not done him any favours this year, but it's like exciting to watch. And I think when you had Bielsa, it was exciting to watch, wasn't it?
Very exciting, yeah. But they obviously they didn't get promoted when in 2019 in their centenary year, but the year after they did. And then the first season in the Premier League, they took teams by surprise. They didn't know how to play them. But then obviously the second season, they did. And it was a downfall, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't really have what I would call household names. And if you actually look at all that team, although it looked like they had really great players, none of them, other than Phillips, has gone on to sign for a big club, did they?
No. Trying to think. Oh, no. Yeah. Well, Rafinha didn't even to Barcelona.
Yeah.
Didn't it?
Yeah, but if you look like, I mean, even Phillips, I think, because of the football that you played as a holding sitting midfielder, he ended up, I think, who was it? Wasn't it Southgate blamed Phillips being injured while we didn't win the European Cup against Italy, weren't it? But
No, was that?
with him and Declan Rice. But I thought they played some fantastic stuff. It was a lot of it was under a mile an hour, but it was a pleasure. If you wanted to watch,
if you was a neutral, it was really good to watch. Tense if you're a Leeds fan and you were. Leeds are worse when they just 1-0 up and they can, like watching Millwall the other night. They were on the back foot a little bit until they got a second goal, and you just think something's going to happen here and they're going to concede.
But don't you think in today's football that a lot of clubs, try to play counter-attacking football, but a lot of clubs, when they get that 1-0, instead of going for the kill and getting to 2-0, give them a bit of breathing space, a lot of clubs just start sitting.
They get very defensive, don't they?
Yeah.
Start sitting back, yeah.
I agree. We had that problem with Lopetegui, Stu, didn't we?
We still got that problem, mate, to be honest with you.
Yeah, but I don't think West Ham have got the players. I don't really think it's Potter's fault, if I'm honest with you. Who would you keep if you had the choice to get rid of all of them, Stu? Then who would you keep? That more to the point, but not who you would get rid of. The first 11, who would you keep?
What, West Ham? You're doing it now. Advertising the enemy.
Go on. Who would you keep?
You're both advertising the fucking enemy.
I'll cover them up in a minute. I'll cover them up in a minute.
I didn't even know.
Explain to you.
Yeah.
Oh no, there's a few players I'd keep.
Go on then. Would you keep the goalkeepers? Yes or no?
I'd keep Areola.
Right. Wan-Bissaka?
Yes, definitely. Yeah. Ollie Scholes.
Mavropanos?
Nah. Mavropanos.
Gilman?
No, he'd be out the door.
Then let's say Scholes or Emerson. Would you keep them too?
I'd keep Scholes, definitely. Yeah. Emerson.
Yeah.
I'd let him go now. You know, they're nearing the time. Kudus, I'd like to keep Kudus, but he likes flashing his knickers at the bigger teams. He wants to go on and play Champions League football.
Check Alvarez.
I'd keep Alvarez. Yeah. I'd keep.
You didn't. Soucek?
No. Moyes can take him to Everton.
Bowen.
He can put a wig on him and call him Fellaini, can't he? Yeah, I'd keep Bowen. Yeah, I'd keep Bowen. Yeah.
See, and then we ain't got a striker. I mean, I don't know what. I can't talk to Ferguson because I've not seen him play. So it's.
Well, he's got to start him tomorrow. He has to start him. Really,
I agree.
Him. If you don't start
I still think you're looking at 6 or 7 of the players. Do you like? It's hopefully you come up, Paul. We'll go back to last season in a minute where it went wrong.
Just coming up, definitely.
Maybe. But do you think all these teams that you've got this season are going to be good enough in the Prem, or you're going to have to buy?
No, definitely going to have to buy out there. I think Rothwell and Tanaka will be all right in midfield. Solomon's now shown his form. James is good enough. Definitely need a new striker. Definitely. Probably a new keeper.
See, I like that Nonto. That little
yeah, he's. I mean, he threw Teddy out a while back, didn't he? He said he didn't want to play. Yeah. He was looking to move. But then they must have had a chat with him and said summer because he's just fringe player now. He's on bench all the time. Yeah. And he seems quite happy doing it.
The money they're on, isn't it? We've had this conversation there.
Maybe so, yeah. Maybe so. But yeah, and I'm also liking Ramazani. But since he got injured again, he's also on the bench now. He's not had a full start.
And the manager, you think he's good enough to do it in the Prem?
Well, he's not done it yet, has he? He didn't do it with knowledge, did he?
No, he tried, didn't he? He had a good
yeah, so I don't know. But obviously, if he gets him promoted, just stick with him and see how it went. But yeah, I think
Leeds is a better side than what Norwich was. They've got better players.
Possibly, yeah.
I think not going up last year actually did you a favour, because if you look at the bottom of the table this year, you're Leicester and Ipswich, who finished above you, didn't they? And then you lost in the playoff final. It was only 1-0, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1-0,
I think, as you can see, they're going down. But if you go back a year before now to Luton going down, they're at the bottom of the Championship now, aren't they? And they are a lot of problem. Another team that are talking about getting a new ground. I don't understand teams getting into debt with this new ground at the moment. I mean, Birmingham, 21 average fans, they're going to build a 60,000 seater stadium.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're getting themselves.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because they want to bring in all the corporate packages. But
there's only money in the Prem, Stu. They've got to get in the Prem and stay there.
You know, that's exactly what they want to do. They just want to bring in tourists, corporate people that are going to pay big money. They don't want football fans anymore. No team does, really, unless you're going right down the leagues into the bottom leagues. That's where you find the proper fans down there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the likes, I've said it all season, the Southampton fans filled the club every week, which I think if Leeds was down there, they would as well. And I think the Ipswich fans and the Leicester fans have been fantastic. There is still another rumour going around that Leicester was going to get points deduction if they stayed in the Championship. And if they go down, they could start next year with a points deduction, which I hope not. Yeah, because I hope I like Leicester fans. Now, Stuart and I disagree here on the financial fair play. What's your thought on that?
No, really.
75% of your income you can actually spend, can't you?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't go into all that side of it.
But do you think it's fair, or do you think if you've got the owners that can put money in, let them put money in?
It depends, because you'll have certain owners with billions who can pump it in, like Man City, and then you'll have other clubs that have only got millions. So yeah, there should be a fair play thing. You can only spend so much.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you. So. What's your version, Stu?
No, I don't agree with it. I mean, say we got bought out this summer. We bought out by, just say some Qatari or somewhere. It's most multi-billionaire player. He's going to be able to buy us, come in, and he's not going to be able to spend no money because we don't make no money.
Yeah, but
we don't own our own ground or anything. So
whose fault is that?
Yeah, but that's where the fair play hinders you. It hinders you. You can't compete. It just means the likes of those that are at the top. It's designed for those that are at the top will stay at the top. The likes of your main cities and Liverpools, and they will stay there because the fair play doesn't want. Nobody wants any other team in that top six, apart from the Sky's favourite teams, the Premier League's favourite teams. They don't want.
True, but if you look at the top of the league, right, and look at the FA Cup quarterfinals, right. Now, other than Man City, just for a change, right, we've got 8 different teams.
Preston is still
so. But we've got a real good, and look at the top of the leagues. Look where United are. Look where Spurs are. Forest, like we've said about. I think it brings a more fairer bite of the cherry to teams. We're going to talk about West Ham. I'm going to go back to Man United. I don't know if anybody's seen the Sir Jim Ratcliffe interview, but he's saying that they've wasted 100 million on players. And I can't believe he's mentioned Casemiro, who's in the first team. Why would you say that? When you've got a player that has got to play at the moment. We mentioned Anthony, didn't we? We would have jumped to have him at West Ham.
Yeah,
I think he just wasn't played right, or he didn't understand the directions that was given to him. And I think that's Amarin's problem at the moment, and a little bit what's going on at West Ham. But if you go back to West Ham, Stu, they've been bad buys. We've had the money. They've just been really, really bad buys.
Bad investment. Yeah.
You hopefully buy a player and then have a plan where you can buy that player. I mean, most teams now, mate, like you said, would
the
fight
thing is,
fair play.
the last few years, we've spent 50, 60 million on a player. Then the following season, we're selling him for 15, 20 million.
We did that with Skamaka. We did it with Allaire, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think we're going to do it with Kudus because I can't see anyone wanting to pay 80 million for Kudus.
Aguerd's going to go on the cheap. You know, we paid for the nose for him. You know,
possibly Madrid are looking at him.
Yeah.
All right, you've not turned me yet, Stu. You've not turned me with the FFP. So we'll have gloves out. That's going to be another show. That with me and you, gloves.
I'll tell you what. We'll do it when I come out at the end of May.
I'm coming back to see you next week, aren't I?
We'll set up a ring, some boxing gloves, and we'll fucking sort it out.
Yeah, let's have it. Right, can we go back to last season? Yeah, if you don't mind. I mean, you got to the end. You really looked strong all season, didn't you? And
no,
you didn't.
No, end of March. Well, middle of March, international break, and we just fell off it. Then after that, up to March, we should have walked it, but after March, it just injuries. People playing so many games, and they just you knew there were going to be playoffs.
Why do you believe people play too many games?
That's like cup games.
What do they do all week? What do they do all week? These players, other than train?
Well, play football.
Exactly. No player wants to train. Really, most people want to play. No, Stu agrees with you. Stu agrees that they do play too many games.
Yeah, but then.
We're like husband and wife thing. We don't agree on anything.
I can't understand why players can't play twice a week. Why they whinge and whine playing 2 games a week? You're on 100 grand a week, mate. Get off your lazy arse and get out there and kick that football. You know what I mean? Get out there and play football.
100%.
Yeah, I totally agree. 2 games a week. You know, you should be able to do 2 games a week.
You know, I agree. What's going to be the difference to get Leeds across the line this year, considering as you just lost to Portsmouth, who then got beat by Plymouth, didn't they? Which, unbelievable.
Sheffield United and Burnley both dropped points at home this week.
Yeah.
We took home points.
I think Sheffield United play tonight, don't they? I think Sheffield United are playing tonight.
No, they play on Sunday. It's Sheffield Derby, isn't it?
I know there's a championship game on tonight, Friday night.
Yes, Norwich City tonight.
I know there's one on. I've noticed it earlier, but because I always look for a Friday night game because it's usually a championship.
Yeah. That's all I'll tell you. Yeah, Norwich away at Bristol tonight.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the championship because I think there's no VAR. Would you like VAR on the championship?
Yes and no. Take the Portsmouth game last Saturday, 0-0. Dan James taken out on the penalty spot, front of the referee, nothing given. You've gone to VAR, you get a penalty. You put it away, you're in front, are you? Then you're not on back foot.
Yeah, but I like it's a bit more bruisey. Am I saying it right? I like that you can tackle in the championship. It's like, you know, it's like you've got to play with nail varnish on. And mate, these huddles, I don't know who started these huddles in the middle. You know, they all talk, and they get talked in the changing rooms. Right, boys, and then they go out there and they have their huddles like they're going on a Boy Scout meeting, don't they? And just repeat the words. And then all of a sudden, someone runs by them. I mean, we played Brentford recently, and they are one of the masters of the dark arts, I think, along with someone else at the top of the league. I think they're trained by Tom Daly. Yeah.
Arsenal terrible.
They just fall over. But you think you're going to do it this year?
I hope so, yeah. I think they're in a strong position than last year. But again, after this weekend, you've got internationals where Rodon and James are both playing for Wales. Rodon gets injured. We're down to 1 centre-half. A proper centre-half. We ain't got nobody to cover. Ampadu's out. Apparently he's back in training now, but he still needs surgery at some stage. And then you're down to 1 centre-half. And our weakest link is our defence.
Yeah. I hope they do it, Leeds. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, Sheffield United come up a couple of years ago, didn't they? And then they went back straight.
I'd like Leeds to come up. I don't want Sheffield United to come up. Can't stand them.
Well, they sued us, didn't they? Even the Burger Man sued us over Carlos Tevez, and I think they got did they get about 30 million off West Ham?
Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember it. Literally everyone was suing them. But yeah, I just think they're great fans. I love fans. When I used to go to a lot of away games, as Stu and I did, you wouldn't believe the amount of games that we was at together, although we didn't know it. We've talked about it since that we was both at. But the grounds with fantastic atmospheres and fans that just still go, no matter what division they're in. The Sunderlands, the Newcastles, even Man City to a degree a few years back, weren't it? Before they got the money put into them, they always sort of build the ground. But I just think football is going in a different direction. You mentioned the word corporate. Sadly, we had this with Tommy, didn't we, Stu, where we think that Everton will be the next to feel the effects of. I don't think their ground will be like ours, but I think it will start having a lot of corporate pitches.
Maybe not next season, but after next season, they will start it will start to change up for Everton. It will. That's what they want. They don't want football fans now because they don't want you standing up. They don't want you singing. They don't want you swearing. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Did you know? Someone told us last week when we had an Arsenal fan on that you can get a WhatsApp and you can send it to wherever you send it at the ground. That someone's not being nice or saying something, and they come and eject them. The stewards.
Receipt number. Who was it? Was it the Arsenal fan that said he went to a game? He sat down, and this bloke sitting next to him said, "Which team's Arsenal?"
Yeah,
he just some geezer wanted to go and see a Premier League game, and that's obviously he's paid for the nose for his ticket.
He's doing it now. Look, you've got him right now. Look, he ain't advertising there. No, I agree with you there, Stu. Listen, the likes of you're the same age as me and Paul, aren't you? You're the same age as me.
I'm 6 days younger.
Yeah, so like Paul and I are both 45. So Stu's the oldest here. And
that makes me 41 then.
Yeah. I do think that slowly, the game is going away. I read that 48% of companies' revenue comes in from TV rights now. And I think the more money that's in football, the more and more we're going to get American owners. We're going to get people that want to bite of that cherry, and they're going to rinse the club for all it's worth. Yeah. And the people that are going to suffer is like on a Ponzi scheme is always be the fans at the end of the day. I mean, Paul's mate Dave, he's had a season ticket for 40 odd years.
42 years now, yeah.
Yeah, Oman away, that's what you call. We had Tommy on, didn't he? Tommy had a ticket for 43. I bumped into a Man City fan when I was on holiday last week, and he reckons that one for 45. So whether it's true or not, we're going to try and get him on. Did you like any away grounds? Did you used to like away grounds?
I've been to a couple, but not many. But probably a bit away out. Swindon.
Yeah, I used to love away days. For me, were better.
Away days were a good laugh. Yeah, they were a good laugh on away days. Yeah.
Do you remember when we went up there, Stu? The 1980 FA Cup replay was at Elland Road, and we got an escort from the ground, didn't we, from the train station, and we got attacked by a load of Leeds fans, didn't we? We thought they were Everton fans, but they was all Leeds fans. It was probably Dave, weren't it? And all these.
Probably, they would have been there, yeah.
Used to get attacked at most away days, so,
Yeah.
Middlesbrough, they used to ambush all the time, Middlesbrough, throw bricks.
Up in the Welsh ones as well, the Swansea and Cardiff. Yeah, good away days. Though, I think that
could never work out. Why they're in our leagues? They've got their own bloody leagues. Why don't they stay down there
no money in it, mate. Exactly right.
League, you know what I mean?
That's why I can't understand why Celtic and Rangers probably would be the death of the Scottish League, but I can't understand why Celtic and Rangers don't come into the Premier. They're fair. I don't know.
They tried, didn't they? A few years ago, and they were told no, it ain't happening. Yeah, I know they tried. They wanted to come in and they were told, no, it ain't going to happen.
I don't know. So you've got a magic wand, Paul. What would you do with the ground, and what players would you take from West Ham to play in your current Leeds team?
Jesus. Magic wand?
Soufal.
I don't really watch West Ham, but I'll take Bowen for a start.
Everyone says that. Yeah, everyone.
He's a good player, Bowen, isn't he?
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's probably the best. A problem with Bowen is they give him the captain's armband, and I don't think it was right for him. I don't think a lot of us realise what goes on outside the game, the corporate responsibilities. They've got to go and visit people. He's got two young kids, and and I think they should never have given it to him. On the field, is he the right one? I always like, if I'm honest with you, a nice, strong centre back as a captain. You had Bremner. Bremner was
somebody
only
that's loud.
5'6".
Somebody that's loud and organises, shouts and screams and hollers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he should ever be a goalkeeper. Yeah. All right. Who's your captain now?
Strike, centre half.
Do you like him?
Yeah, he's a decent player. He's been approached by some Premier clubs. Decent player, but I think when he was injured, Ampadu was the captain, and he's a decent central midfielder, centre half. But at the moment he's injured. But if he was fit, I think he would be playing instead of Strike.
I think you've got to put these players down on. They should be negotiating with these players that you think should stay on bigger contracts now, because at the end of the season, there's been a lot of teams that have struggled in the centre half position, isn't they?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, how many players now do we know centre halves that can actually go out with a ball, get the ball and run out with it?
Not many.
There ain't.
No.
Looking back on it, I don't know. I mean, Jack Charlton couldn't go out with the ball, could he? Him and Norman Hunter. We had this conversation the other week when we did the argument, but they were great players and they just did the job that they were supposed to do. See, Stu has a go at Mavropanos, but for me, the guy we paid £40 million for, and it's nothing to do with the price, by the way. I think he gets away with murder. I think when you're a centre-back pairing, you're a pairing. Yeah, so if one makes a mistake, you cover the other. It's never the fault of one. And I tell you, he's no way is that man a £40 million centre-half.
No. Wolves had their pants down over that. But then it swings and roundabouts. We had United's pants down over Wan-Bissaka, didn't we,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, player of the season for me. Absolutely.
He's definitely be our player of the season, he will, yeah.
I think if you come up, mate, I think you personally, if I was a Leeds fan, I mean, we'd all want to say, yeah, Leeds fly high, get second, spend a load of money. But I think you need to come up, and I think 4th, 5th from bottom would be a good season for you next year and consolidate.
Yeah, as long as I get relegated.
Yeah, don't get relegated. And get the money. There's loads of money. And
they need another Yeboah.
Tony
Yeboah.
Great player. Do you remember Mark Viduka? He was another good striker, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yeboah scored.
He wasn't in the team that won the league, Mark Viduka.
No.
Did he not?
No. He didn't play in league division, did he? Division 1.
Who was in that team then?
John Lukic.
Good goalkeeper.
Noel Sterland. Gordon Strachan. Vinnie Jones.
Vinnie Jones.
Yeah, Vinnie Jones. Lee Chapman up front.
Lee Chapman.
It was hopeless at West Ham.
Gary Speed, David Batty.
I was going to say Speed and Batty, yeah.
Yeah, good player.
Yeah.
Sadly missed Gary Speed.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I think the first season in the Premiership.
Was Eric in your team? Wasn't he?
Yeah, but he was late on, wasn't he? Then he played for half a season in Premiership, and then went to Man United, didn't
he? Yeah, another good player.
Yeah.
Just like Rio Ferdinand did. You took
again.
Then he left.
You made a lot of money on him now. Yeah. You only paid 19 to us and sold him for 31, didn't you?
Yeah, made some money on him, yeah.
Mark, what did you say? Lee Chapman, he come down to West Ham, and when we was doing a pre-season friendly, I don't know if people don't know, there was someone saying to Harry Redknapp, what on earth are you playing him for? He's bloody useless. And Harry Redknapp went, right, I'm going to pull him off. Lee Chapman, you go on and play. So someone give this bloke his boots, and he went on and scored. Do you remember, Stu, in a friendly?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
They pulled him off, Lee Chapman, and he went on and scored. Wasn't he? He's Mrs. Leslie Ash, weren't it?
Yes.
Yeah. He slapped her about, though, didn't he?
As most of them did, mate, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you had a good side. Oh, Lee Bowyer, was he in that team?
No, that came later on, didn't it? Lee Bowyer. The Division 1 winning team, I say, would have been Lukic, John Newsom, and David Weatherall centre halves.
Oh, bloody hell.
Mel Sterland. Can't remember. Oh, Tony Drigo left back.
Tony Dorigo from Chelsea, weren't he?
Yeah, Tony Drigo. And then you had Strachan, Vinnie Jones, Batty, Speed, Lee Chapman. Cantona came into it, didn't he?
Yeah, Eric Cantona.
And I think Rod Wallace was in that side as well.
Yeah,
Rod Wallace,
Southampton, Danny Wallace's brother, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know the player? I always thought he got told he was going to be fantastic for everybody, and when he started at Chelsea, he was going to be the next big thing. And he come up for you, and you used to always send me messages and said, if you don't want someone, if your life depends on taking a penalty, don't let him take it. Was Patrick Bamford, weren't it?
Oh God, yeah.
He was supposed to be a big thing when
he was. But he's injury prone, isn't he? He's a decent player, but I mean, now what we had, 2-3 games out of him this season, if that. If that.
And he's on big money.
Yeah. One of the biggest earners there, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's now back in team training. How long he lasts, I don't know.
See, that's what's crippling the clubs, is the wages that the players are on these days. And that's what's going to cripple football. It's the player wages. They need to price cap the wages. You know, I mean that's why teams coming up they struggle, because they could get the players, but the players won't go there because, say for instance, like Leicester, they come up, you know, the player, yeah, I'll come to you, but I don't want 30 grand a week. I want 80, 90 grand a week.
Yeah.
If you don't give me that, I'll go elsewhere. And that's what they're doing. And that's
I think in the long term, Stu, we've got to go for youth. You've got to try and invest in your own youth academy.
You've got to invest in youth. Yeah, this is what I'm hoping Potter does for us. Is he actually invests in the youth? He uses the youth, not just Scholes. I want to see some others coming through. Like you're saying about players that I'd keep. Like I said, I'd keep Areola, but then I'll promote Hedgie up as a number 2. I'll bring young Hedgie in. He's a real good goalkeeper. He really is a good little goalkeeper.
I think Ramsdale will be a good buy for someone. I don't think he'll stay at Southampton at the end of it. I lost his confidence at Arsenal, but I think he'll be a really good
My
buy.
lad was positioning for him for Leeds for next season.
Really?
Yeah, Ramsdale, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good buy. I think he's a really good buy.
Look at Kepa at Chelsea. He was crap, wasn't he? He's gone to Bournemouth and he's playing out of his socks at Bournemouth.
Good team, Stu. They are a really good football team.
Yeah.
As like Nottingham Forest are.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we are nearly there. Have you got anything else to say, Paul?
No, not really.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yes, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
Learned a few things.
Who from, Stu or me?
Stu.
Thanks.
Stu.
Thanks for that. I'm not going to really end of that now. As you can see, Tony can get up from under the table in a minute. Stu, as always, my friend, absolutely enjoyed it. Before he goes out with his outro, guys, can you please keep supporting Hammers United? Hammers United are a group that's tried to get concessions when West Ham prices went sky high, especially for the pensioners, especially for the old people. They've actually had a win, and it's been amazing. But they're still going around the other grounds. They're collaborating with other fans. Hopefully, the Leeds fans, their prices won't go up when they hopefully get up. So if you didn't get a chance, please go on. Normally, Tony puts the link up, but unfortunately, I just about sent an email to Stu earlier on, so I don't know where the link is. So if you look up Hammers United, I'll look at it again. Absolutely amazing, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paul. Stu, can you take us out, please?
Nice to meet you, Stu.
And you. Yeah. Take care. Stay safe. Stay lucky, my friends.